Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Photographic Memory Podcast. I'm excited to welcome to the program Dr. Shannon Panzo. Dr. Shannon, what's going on? How are you?
Oh, I'm just having another great day here. My day's just begun, and it's just a wonderful thing to have the sun out and blue sky, fresh air to breathe. Yeah, it's great.
All right. Well, Dr. Shannon is a photographic memory expert, a brain management expert, and you can get mentoring from him exclusively by going to zuxpro.com for more information. And our topic today is out of the box thinking. And I think that sometimes being in the box makes you not as attractive as someone who thinks out of the box, right?
Well, really, most people get to be relaxed in their life like that old pair of worn out slippers. And you don't want to make changes and you just kind of go along and you improve what you can, but you don't really take a big interest until calamity hits or chaos hits, things like this. And over the past couple of years, people have had to revisualize where they're going in life and what they're doing. And so, yeah, there's a lot of changes that have taken place, and a lot of changes have been forced upon people. And this is not something that is conducive to the old pair of worn out slippers that feel so good. You have to deal with things as they come up. And sometimes what you have to do is you have to think outside your box. You have to think outside of where you're comfortable at. You have to do things that are not so comfortable. And one of the key things to gaining your leverage with dealing with this particular issue is information. Because if you don't have good information, you can't make good decisions. You can't really get your bearings. So you absolutely need good information to figure out which way you're going. And so what I do is I teach people how to conquer information and how to take advantage of that for your own well-being. There's no use being stuck in the mud. The only good thing about being stuck in the mud is whenever you look up, the only way to go is up, right?
Exactly. So give us some examples of some out of the box. You said information is so important of out of the box thinking.
Okay. Critical factor. Let's say your position at the organization that you have, you've just been made redundant. Or if you are an entrepreneur and self-employed, and because of crazy things happening in the economy or what have you, suddenly you find that your business model is no longer viable, you're out of business. So you have to shift which way you're going because you have things that you have to take care of. You have your bills, you have your family, you have the things that you build around you that you want to maintain, if not make gains from that. And a lot of people see that this is actually because they're being thrown outside of their level of comfort, that this is a great time to actually make movement upward and become better at everything that you're doing. So, you know, these are different things that people are faced with. So if you become redundant, what are you going to do? Are you going to try to stay in the same field? Are you going to get into a different field? Are you going to find something that you actually like doing instead of something that's going to, toss you out whenever times get tough? So all these different things come into the momentum of, for instance, even teaching. A lot of teaching has gone remote now. Right. And so the way that teachers think is very different because everything's gone remote. Well, that has its plus sides, plus it has its downsides as well. And the sociability of the teacher in the classroom is very important to the underlying structure of the students, because if the teacher is a good teacher, then there is a relationship built between the teacher and the student. I guess this is better for the teachers that aren't such good teachers because they can hide behind the screen. And if the questions get too tough, they can just say, gee, I've just had an internet problem and I'll have to get back with you on that. Not a good thing for teachers to be doing, but I'm sure that it happens. Okay, does that ring a bell at all?
That's not, well, yes, it does. But when you talk about out of the box thinking, it's really just thinking, getting out of your comfort zone is almost like out of the box thinking. You're using the thinking of getting out of your comfort zone to figure out things that are very important that many people sometimes don't think about.
Right. In the technical way, I talk about paradigms. Okay, you have a paradigm which is your way of thinking, your belief systems, your comfort level, your limitations. All those things is your paradigm. And also, there's another paradigm as well, and that is what other people think of you. Now, let's just talk about the first one. When it comes to your paradigm, if your paradigm is not providing for you, then you have to change the way your paradigm functions. That means that you have to face the fears of going outside your paradigm, which is thinking outside the box. You have to go outside your paradigm in order to pull in fresh information, fresh decision making. And this will help you in gaining your footing in the new environment that you're forced into. And literally, you are just that, you're forced into this new environment. So that pretty well sums up what thinking outside the box is. Specifically, you are an individual, so I'm not exactly sure how that's going to relate to you, because this is going to be on an individual basis. What affects you? But at least now you know that there is something that you can do about it. And ZoxPro really does teach you how to gain that highest level of information very quickly through the mental photography using your photographic memory. So when it comes to gaining the information, which is your apex, your leverage point on gaining your footing, well, yes, that's what you need to do. You need to gain your information. It's always better if you give yourself some time to gain that information and digest it, but don't take too long.
All right. And the best place is go to zuxpro.com right now, right?
Go to zuxpro.com because great things happen here.
Exactly. And people need to check it out, check out all the different things, follow social media accounts as well, and share this Photographic Memory podcast with your friends. And I appreciate it, Dr. Shannon, and we'll talk very soon. Okay, that was the Photographic Memory Podcast, guys. Take care.